you doing? No! No!
Hello and welcome to the Troglodyte channel. Today we are going to be beating Minecraft as a tech support professional. But yeah, with the recent price hike on H1B Visa sponsorships, this tech support worker has been deported back to India. And what does that mean in the context of Minecraft? Well, for one, if you harm a cow, the citizens will come after and kill you. Additionally, anything resembling a train is going to be deadly for obvious reasons. But it's not all bad. Street vendors will be all around the map offering trades for Indian street food. How lovely. But one of the core mechanics of this playthrough is going to be the tech support mechanic. Every so often, I will have to go into the tech support dimension and kill these computer software bugs. If I don't do this, there will be consequences such as firing. On top of this, any non-Indian mobs will be harmed by my Stench Aura. You can see this villager through the crowds being harmed by the stench. But on the plus side, the Indians will help me take on some neutral mobs from time to time, so that helps. But by far the biggest obstacle is going to be the overcrowding here in New Delhi. It's difficult to navigate with all these guys around. Anyway, a complete list of mechanics is in the description down below. You'll see them as we go along. But with that, let's get into it and see if I can beat Minecraft as a tech support professional working in New Delhi. Entering the world for the first time, I was greeted by a lovely street covered in garbage, poop, very overpopulated with tons of street vendors and piles of garbage. I'm very thankful I can't smell through a computer screen, otherwise this might have been agony. A thick fog covers the land, putting the effective render distance down to about 3. This represents the pollution and haze of New Delhi. Oh look, I'm blessed! A cow is here supplying me with sacred poo. This will be great sustenance for the journey going forward. Navigating narrow corridors in this playthrough is not going to be easy. If you're wondering what happened there, I accidentally hit one of the Indians, and they all aggro at once because they're basically a hive mind. And they will be following me wherever I go. Look at all of them! Oh my god, there's too many! There's too many of them! I can't do this. After setting up a quote-unquote base on the ground outside, it was time to get digging for some iron. Thank you, cow, for your shit. We will worship the holy cow's asshole. The problem with digging, though, is that the Indians would fill the hole and make it impossible to dig anywhere without aggroing one of them and thus all of them. Oh no! They're just in the blocks. Oh, I wonder what's in this nice New Delhi building. Shit and garbage. After struggling with digging for a bit, I decided it was time to get on the computer and actually do my job. Tech dimension, we must kill the bug. And my goal in here is to kill the bugs and the Nigerian scammers while avoiding the antivirus software represented by wardens. And it didn't go too well the first time, but we'll just close the ticket and ignore it, as most tech support workers do. Getting back to digging for iron, I kept dying within the hole where I had actually found some iron, but I was trying to get my stuff and then get back to the surface. And you can see here where I was trying to get my stuff at. Unfortunately, the replay mod didn't pick up the Indians, but you can see what I was trying to do and how I kept dying. As it turns out, being in a hole crammed with Indians is very difficult, and I would imagine smelly. I ended up having to dig like a wider area so that the Indians could decompress a little bit because they would all try to cram themselves into a 1x2. Oh, and it started raining, which it's acid rain in New Delhi naturally, so I had to run for cover, but cover was just absolutely overcrowded. It was a fight to get into the shelter, which was way overpopulated, as you can see. They would push me out and I would succumb to the rain. After retrieving my iron and walking for a bit, I ended up hearing some lava bubbling and decided to dig around and look for it in order to make a nether portal. Yeah, there's definitely lava. So I set up shop and started digging, but of course with the crowds everywhere, it ended up with several deaths along the way. And what I had to do so that the Indians wouldn't all cram themselves into my little staircase that I was building was just peel away layers of the earth in a very wide manner. And then eventually I would make it to the lava pool that I was hearing the bubbles from. And it worked. Eventually I found the lava. But at some point I switched over the screen overlay to be death count instead of ticket count, because ticket count isn't as relevant as the bar above my health bar. If you watch that bar, you will see when it is time for me to do my tech support job. Otherwise, you'll just see the death count, which is an expression of my suffering, if you will. But anyway, yeah, I got to building the Nether portal, which was surprisingly easy, only minimal crowding from the Indians. I love how even the water bucket water is brown, like it's impossible to find good water nearby. Anyway, time to find out what hell is like in India. Oh, sweet relief. The general fart cloud haze of India is still here, but none of the Indians are here. I guess they're all getting reincarnated so they wouldn't come here. I might just make my base in hell because it's preferable to India. Side note, this replay mod is so cool. I can go back through my footage and like spectate myself like this. I can even change the speed. I'm going to be using this to greater effect going forward, I promise. But anyway, I think being an Indian in the Nether is actually better than being a base player, because you can use your stench to your advantage and hide around walls to deal with the combat. I'm sure these piglins were absolutely shocked when they smelled me with 2 stacks of poop in my inventory coming. A bunch of Indians poured into the Nether, and a once prosperous and peaceful land is now stinky and gross. This must be how the UK feels. Anyway, the haze of India was proving to be a huge obstacle. It was taking me kind of an insane amount of time to find a Nether fortress. And to make matters even worse, I was aggroing a ton of mobs with my stench. And because of that, I was forced to avoid the mobs by just digging everywhere. And this resulted in hours and hours of digging. At some point I got bored with all the digging and decided to go do some of my job and look for Nigerians that I could take some ender pearls from. It proved to be a little too dangerous. I did end up getting a few ender pearls out of it though. Yet another problem in the ender was the zombified piglins. If an Indian runs into them, they must turn the other way because the entire group will aggro due to smell. It was back to digging and grinding for me, but one cool thing I do have is that with the replay mod, I can recount some of my suffering in third person. No, 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 what are you doing? No, what? How did you hit me from... Ha! Take that! There was an ongoing debate when I was doing this playthrough between hoglins and Indians for who was stinkier. Anyway, after like 6 hours of searching, I finally found a Nether fortress, and it was time to grab some blaze rods. And here, I finally got to the advantages of being Indian. As you can see, before I even got through, they're affected by my stench, which means I'm getting free damage and free blaze rods just based on being near them. This right here is the strength of India. India superpower by 2020, baby. So yeah, the heat in the Nether must have made my stench extra potent, because they would just die, I would grab the blaze rods and repeat. It was easy peasy. I did die once and the blaze rods despawned, but it like barely mattered because it was so easy to get them the second time. So yeah, I got the 9 blaze rods pretty quickly, made it back to my tunnel, and it was pretty much in the bag from there. Oh my god, I can't see! Getting back to my base, I was able to secure the blaze rods, but the population had exploded here. It was shoulder to shoulder Indians in India. I once again looked for Nigerian scammers while doing my tech support job, and this definitely came with some issues. You must disable the antivirus. Please, sir, disable antivirus. It is for your own good, sir. Look, he just has poop. And I had encountered many warped forest biomes whilst tunneling around looking for a fortress, so it was easy to go to one, and it was probably even easier than a stock playthrough because any Endermen that were in my stank radius would just aggro on me. I didn't even have to look at them. But yeah, after only a couple minor speed bumps, I was able to accumulate 14 Ender Pearls, which I figured would be enough. After I made it back in India, it was acid raining again, so I had to huddle under here with my brethren. Look at them all just pouring into the Nether. They really can't wait to get out of India. After securing the blaze rods and the ender pearls, I decided I would do a little dry run to test how hard it was going to be to make it to the stronghold before I risked all of my eyes of ender. No! No! The Ganja River! No! Why? The extreme overpopulation of India and the toxicity of the water left me with very little options for traversing water. I was probably going to have to just avoid it and then pray that the stronghold is not underneath water. Uh-oh. Oh no, he done it now. The wrath of India is upon you. No, get away from me. No! If you've made it this far and you're liking the content, consider becoming a channel member. For just 99 cents, you can get my exclusive VODs, extra emojis, and I'm planning on some experimental, ultra edgy content to post as members only soon. We'll see how that goes. My videos frequently get demonetized, so it would very much help support me if you were to do that. Thank you. Anyway, I made the Eyes of Ender and got the direction of the stronghold, and it was time for me to start my journey. But, of course, trillions of Indians were in the way. And the two biggest obstacles were, by far, small rivers and large bodies of water. Like, just look at the sheer number of bodies I was having to boat through. I was getting like 1 block a second, if that. Which is like less than 1/8 the speed that the boat normally goes. It really is tough being Indian. India! Attack! He can't take all of us. This is what war with India is gonna look like, by the way. That's what happens if you ever try to go to war with India. You guys have no idea how obnoxious this is. I've been at this for like 8 hours. I'm going crazy. I eventually came into a swamp, which goes without saying how dangerous it was in India. Get out of my way! And through all this, I still had to take little breaks to do my quote-unquote job as a tech support worker / scammer. An unbelievable amount of my time went towards boating through the Ganja River with billions of Indians in it. Her face sums up how I feel about India right now. Oh look, watermelon. Shit, I love me some watermelon. Oh wait, wrong ethnicity. Sorry guys. Yeah, once I got in the jungle with all these Indians, I was going to need to throw my Eyes of Ender sparingly because throwing one was almost a guaranteed loss. But luckily, before long, the Eyes of Ender switched direction and I was able to start digging with still 14 Eyes of Ender left. Now I had arrived at the stronghold, but the difficult part was still to come, as digging down to a stronghold while billions and gazillions of Indians are nearby is no easy task. I even tried putting my computer down, going into the computer world, then going to a low Y value, and then going out of the computer world hoping I would spawn near the stronghold. And this did work, but it proved to be too dangerous to actually do. I would have lost my Eyes of Ender on the way through the computer world. So I was able to get to the Stronghold using this, but it was no use. I did do several test runs in the computer world, but it was far too dangerous. Because even upon making it back, I saw a death message I had never seen before. It turns out so many Indians were cramming themselves in that small room that it resulted in my death. What I eventually figured out that I could do was just dig a staircase normally, and if Indians were in the way, just stand there and wait for them to get out of the way and then dig. This is how I would imagine driving works in India, so I guess it's thematically appropriate. And I, of course, died a bunch of times here. Digging carries the inherent danger of aggroing the Indians. One of the times, upon going back, I found that I had one of those stone bricks in my inventory, so I knew I was close. I had made it, and after a few minor India-related incidents, I was able to put a bed and chest down near the portal and get ready for my fight with the Ender Dragon. Actually, putting the eyes into the portal itself was a little dangerous, because if I accidentally right-clicked on one of the Indians, then I would lose that Eye of Ender, and I still needed 10 of them, or maybe 11, to put into the portal. I soon got the portal lit up, and it was time for the showdown between India and the Ender Dragon. And I found myself in a very difficult situation, to say the least. I got one of those enclosed end platforms where there's end stone on every side, and it was just packed with Indians fucking instantly. So what I ended up having to do to try to escape, you can see it happening here now. I'm doing that thing where you like jump up and down when you can just barely reach a block and you can somehow break it. Well, that worked in this case and actually got me a little platform here, but it didn't last too long because those would fill with Indians like instantly as well. So escaping from this encased Indian-filled hell became a battle of attrition, just like everything else in my life at this moment. Take a look at the Stronghold. Look how packed it is. It was such a struggle to like try to find my way back to the portal. Look, you can see how I did it on my screen. You're just walking blind. This was absolutely brutal. I just want to say, folks out there at home, I feel bad for anyone who has to live in India like this. It's SMH my head. Anyway, I eventually broke through and made it to the surface, and it was time for the Ender Dragon to face the wrath of India. Yes, my army, yes! Kill her! She will know the power of India! Go! Oh my god, she's vaporized! And the brown haze! Oh my god, look at this! Oh, this is India! It's India, guys! This is what it's like in India. If India were in Minecraft, this would be it. So unfortunately, my army was doing absolutely nothing to her, so I had to actually go kill these crystals myself. But the problem was, it was essentially impossible to build upwards without copious amounts of Indians spawning directly on top of me. But I unfortunately kept running out of blocks, so I thought to myself, what do I have? And what I have is poop. As part of this mod, I get 1 poop per second, and this allows me to make poop blocks, which I can then cover the end in and eventually be high enough to punch the pillar. So Operation Shit All Over the End was born. But some big problems started to show up. The lag was unbearable at this point. There were so many Indians spawning. It was lagging my beefy computer. And also, I was getting some shit, but not nearly enough for what I needed. I needed thousands of blocks of poo. You might say I found myself in a shitty situation. I was eventually able to destroy the lowest regen crystal, but this spawned in so many Indians, it actually crashed my game. And while I was making some progress on covering the end in poop, it was getting increasingly difficult the higher I built up. As you can see here, I'm trying to build even higher, but the number of Indians spawning near me is just increasing, lagging my game more, leading to another crash. Look, the Ender Dragon isn't even moving here. Yeah, and if it wasn't for the lag, I wouldn't have been able to even build up to that one pillar I was able to destroy anyway. Oh, and Enderman started returning and aggroing on me because I stunk so bad. Hey guys, look, I filled the Ender Dragon's fountain here with Indian poop. Do you think she'll like it? Oh, and Indians too, what a treat. But yeah, after some severe lag and several more crashes, I decided to call it quits. This is not possible in any practical sense. Because even if I had a bow, even if I had good equipment, the fart cloud that covers the end obscures the tops of the pillars so you don't even know where they are at. All the while, the Ender Dragon is killing Indians, causing experience orbs to spawn, which lags the whole game, and then you can't do anything, because once it crashes, you have to go into the world file and delete the entities, otherwise it'll crash again. Yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is too much. The overpopulation of India disallowed me from killing the Ender Dragon. I did cheat to delete the portals so we could see what it would look like when we were actually attacking her, and this is what it looked like. But there you have it. I was not able to beat Minecraft as an Indian tech worker, at least not without cheating. So, thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments down below. Do you think I accurately captured the concept of India? I think I did a pretty good job. And also, join the Discord. Link in the description below. This weekend, I'm filming a video where I have recruited a number of fans to help me with this. So you could have a chance to be in a video. Join the Discord down below. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, and I will see you guys in about 2 weeks.